Hey guys, good afternoon. It's 2 o'clock on a Wednesday, and we're out playing in traffic by the White House because, well, it's something to do on an otherwise really, really boring day. So we're going to spin down by the White House and then probably spin up to the Capitol and see if anything even remotely interesting is going on in the big city today. So due to too many tourists on the other side, we swung over here by the Blair House. But, you know, we call it Blair House, but I really think most of these houses are all connected. You go inside, you go from one, you can go into the next, and the next, and the next. This is Trowbridge House, next to it.
That's why,
it's available for people at Blair House and as the former president's house, along with the presidential townhouse, which is just a Jackson Place there, a couple houses. The White House down there, the yellow one. All right. Let's go into Pennsylvania Avenue, which is open for the moment, though that might change later. Here are the truth conductors down here, dance guy. Oh, and White House is pretty chill. There's nothing really going on. Some of Speaker McCarthy's people are talking to some of Biden's people, but they didn't involve the principals today, as far as we know.
It's the national anthem of Spain.
National anthem of Spain. He's really into national anthems lately. You know, they've still got some TV crews up by the U-Haul incident spot over there. Maybe we'll swing over there and see if anything's up. I read the police report. He caused $1,000 of damage, over $1,000 of damage to the little pedestal, and I'm just like, yeah, no. They're like, oh, we'll have to repaint it. We'll have to have an engineering site survey. Da 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 da. I was like, yeah, no. Let's go take a look. I'll let you see for yourselves. Oh, that, by the way, is the construction area for the Lafayette Park Lodge being rebuilt finally after it was burned during the George Floyd protests. Government work. It takes a few years. All right, let's go up here by the bollard that suffered $1,000 in damage. Nope, there's the White House. And let's go ride through somebody's shot. They're filming up here, so. Up here on my right is the bollard that was hit by the U-Haul and suffered $1,000 of damage. Do you see $1,000 damage to this bollard? I mean, it barely scratched the paint, just barely. But I guess they're gonna have engineering survey, reconstruction, repainting, $1,000 when it gets to be the government. All right, let's, oh, there's a protest going on down here later. Let's go see if they're there. So we're in Black Lives Matter's Plaza, which is right by the White House. But at the end down there on the left is the Motion Picture Association of America, the MPAA, the guys who came up with the whole rating system and basically the lobbying arm of Hollywood. And today, the writer's strike is going to come to this building. They're going to have a protest, but I think it's coming later tonight. Oh, we're on the Matter part of Black Lives Matter. Let's go up to the next stage where it says Black Lives. Whoa, all right. So they put in all these bollards to let people walk, and they spread out the letters. Nobody can really see it anymore. Yeah, Black Lives Matter. That's what's all written in yellow. All right, this is K Street, the infamous K Street, which used to be where all the lobbyists would be, all the law firms representing every trade association, every organization. They used to be called collectively K Street. What does K Street think about this? K Street is really not where the lobbyists are anymore. They've all moved to more advanced, nicer places. These are just sort of a leftover. Kind of like the newspapers of Fleet Street in London. They're not really on Fleet Street anymore. The lobbyists really aren't on K Street anymore. But the Washington Post is. It's that big building down on the left there with the pointy thing at the top. Let's go down that way. I think that light really wanted to turn green. It just didn't will itself enough. This is McPherson Square. This was the homeless park I showed you getting cleared. It is still closed to the public while the grass is given a chance to recover. There are homeless people piled up on the sides waiting for it to reopen. They're gonna move back in, I guess. Let's take the frontage road. Slightly less traffic. Ooh, dead rat. Cars, crates, baby diaper. Now this is Franklin Square Park. This used to be the hood, man. This used to be like drugs and hookers and everything. Now it's like really nice, been renovated. That's the Washington Post building right over there. That's their headquarters. You can see it says Post at the top. And this is Franklin Square Park, which is, well, quite nice now. There are still some homeless folks around, but they have a security team and a team that cleans up the park regularly. And they're trying to keep this park from becoming like McPherson Square was. And we'll see if it stands the test of time. There's actually a really big fire station over there. It's kind of cool. Let's go see it. Since we're riding around the park, that's Franklin School. That used to be an elementary school. Now it's, I don't know, condos or something. All the schools. They used to have tons of schools in D.C., but as D.C. became more and more of a young urban professional area or retirees, they closed so many schools and turned the buildings over to condominiums. They consolidated local elementaries, all that. And then a lot of people who live in the city, they want to send their kids to private anyway. So here is a really big fire station. This is the home of Engine 16 and Tower 3, Tower Ladder 3. Both of those are first due for the White House. Engine 16 and Tower 13. I'm sorry, Tower 3. The tower is the only tower in the city. Everything else is a truck. They have these tiller fire trucks, but the tower, which I've shown you in the videos, is kind of a ladder with a platform on it. And they're both based here. Both Engine 16 and Tower 3 have the presidential seal on the back of their fire trucks, just as the foam trucks, which cover his helicopter's landings, also have the presidential seal. That's the National Women's and the Arts Museum. It's been under renovation since basically COVID times. Eventually it'll reopen, sort of an art museum for women. But for now, it's still all locked up. Let's go downtown and see what's going on in downtown. We're down 13th and F Northwest. And the light's about to change. Yeah, it changed. Let's swing down here and we'll make our way around, see what we can see. Let's hope this car doesn't go in the parking garage. And let's hope the Teslas don't open the doors and nobody pulls out of their spots. All right, I think we're gonna make it in one piece. We made it, yay, we're alive. Until we hit this light. Okay, playing in traffic is fun. Looks like they got some sort of food market out here by the Ronald Reagan Center, which is a giant government building holding a couple government agencies and like a trade conference center for conferences. There's the Capitol up here. Let's swing up to the Capitol, see what we can see, yeah? So this is the old post office tower, formerly home of the Trump Hotel, now the Waldorf Astoria for Washington, D.C., as they bought out the lease from the Trump Corporation. Over here on this side is Washington Star building. This is the home of the former newspaper, the Washington Star, the Evening Star, which was an afternoon daily, competing with the Washington Post, and driven out of business by Ted Kennedy. Long story about media ownership rules, which seem quite antiquated nowadays in the age of the internet and YouTube and all that. But basically, people had a choice: own a TV station or own a newspaper. You can't own both. And so the Star sold off their newspaper, or just did away with it so they could keep their TV stations. Many people said it was because of the Star's editorial stance against Ted Kennedy that he pushed that legislation through. Oh, I don't think he'll ever say that. That's the FBI headquarters on my left. And on my right is the Department of Justice. And back there is the IRS. All right, let's make our way up to the U.S. Capitol. You can see it off in the distance there, yeah? And it's about 8 blocks, 9 blocks, plus a big hill. So I just remembered that today at about 1:30, the accused U-Haul driver is going to appear in court for his arraignment, his first hearing at the court. So let's swing over to the U.S. District Court, which is just over here behind the Canadian Embassy, yeah? And let's see if there's anything outside worth photographing. Likely not, but we'll take a look. So there's the Canadian flag right there. This is the back of the Canadian Embassy. It's much more grand and ornate in the front. Back here it just looks like, well, nothing. Oh, wow. They got like tents set up. Are they giving away free food at the courthouse? Maybe it's Judge Appreciation Day or something. They're having like a picnic. I don't see any TV crews down here. No, there's a couple crews. Let's go down and see what's up. They're filming too. No idea who that is, but the cameramen were focused on it. So a lot of you asked, do the photographers all get along and whatnot? And generally, yeah, they do. And what you saw right there is an example of how you get along. I saw both of those cameras filming that guy coming, and I didn't know who it was, but I didn't want to have their shot ruined by some dorky guy on a bicycle riding behind him. So I stopped to let them get their photo. And then went up and asked them, who was that guy? And they're like, oh, we don't know. It's like, we just film everybody coming in and out. Anyway, let's go to the other side. So I showed you the start of this the other day. This is where it is today. This is the Memorial Day concert setup that's going on here on the Capitol West front. They build this giant tent 3 times a year: Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. And the National Symphony Orchestra comes out. All sorts of stars of stage and screen, and veterans and politicians and whatnot. They have a huge concert out here. It'll be on PBS, Public Broadcasting, across the country. You can watch it on Memorial Day. Probably this weekend, Sunday, they'll have it rather than the actual Monday. It's the stars, tables, production, events. I don't see any stars on the door. Oh well, I'm sure they'll pop up. Weren't we heading to the Capitol? What are we doing going this way? Let's turn around and go up to the Capitol. Somebody's been leafleting the cars with their political manifesto. Okay, let's go up the sidewalk here. Tourists everywhere. Select event group. I think we've seen these guys at the White House too. They got like a whole thing set up for cafeteria out here. Well, there is the Capitol Dome right there. We'll see it again as we swing around these trees and make our way up the actual hill that is Capitol Hill. There's the construction trailers right here. That's part of the repair work going on out here on the stone and steel. I think the House is in session. Yeah, the flag is up. I think the Senate's adjourned though. A few protesters over there. Same old school group. Nobody's scheduled to speak today. This is the Triangle, where they do press conferences. School group, school group, school group. Black Suburbans. So the House is in session. There's a couple Black Suburbans right there. It's probably the speakers. The Senate's out. So interestingly, the other day it was only the speaker who came to the White House, not Senator McConnell. And I think, yes, the Senate is out of session, but a lot of political people are saying, hey, this ain't a deal with the Senate. This is the House. The House is doing this. The Senate is not the holdup. Oh, we got some new construction over here by the White House Visitor Center. They're digging all that up. Not sure what that's all about. I'll have to go check that out. They haven't started on the other side. Started on this side. Looks a little bit more than just sod replacement. Let's go to the court. So what is it? It's the end of May. The Supreme Court should be done by the end of June. They've got a couple major cases to decide, including the affirmative action case against Harvard and the Biden student loan debt forgiveness. Those are the two big cases everybody's expecting in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Neither will have the fervor of the abortion decision, which was last year. Remember, I was coming up here regularly and there was tons of people. Today it's pretty chill. Tomorrow is Thursday. Yeah, we'll have some decisions tomorrow, but likely not the big ones. They'll probably hold those off until the end of the term and then skedaddle. So the other day someone was asking about this restaurant up here called the Monocle. Is the Monocle still around? Yes, the Monocle restaurant is still around, though they had a really rough go at it. You see, when they secured the Capitol after the January 6th attacks, the Monocle was inside the perimeter, and their staff and nobody else could get in, no visitors could get in to eat. So they were basically shut down by all the fences for months, causing them a tremendous amount of financial hardship. I don't know if they ever got a payment from the government or a lawsuit or anything, but they're open again now. If you go in there, you'll find some senators and an occasional Supreme Court justice having lunch. Oh, we got an ambulance coming. So you see this next bridge, they put in a series of fancy neon lights underneath to make it look cool and trendy. But then they also put in a bunch of Jersey barriers to prevent people from ever thinking about coming back here and sleeping again. Oh, here comes our ambulance I told you about. Nice and loud. Hold your ears, folks. That's a medic unit. Must be something slightly more serious. They send a medic unit to the big calls. Let's continue along the railroad tracks, yeah? Oh, here you can actually see the lights are lit up on this side. They're changing color. Yellow, red, some blue, some green. Cool. All right, let's go down this way. Now this next giant building you see up here on the right, this is the old Washington Coliseum. And this used to be like an events hall for basketball games and hockey games and concerts, including, oh, made it through that, including the very first Beatles concert in the United States. After they finished the Ed Sullivan Show, the Beatles took a special train down to Washington and they played a concert here at the Washington Coliseum, their first concert ever in the United States. And that took place right here, just up from Union Station and the Capitol. Kind of cool. Now this intersection also has funky lights. Funky lights, more things, and there you can see the Washington Coliseum. Now it's an REI and a trendy restaurant filled with more trendy apartment buildings and restaurants, all because they put in a metro station behind me and totally changed the character of this neighborhood. All right, let's keep going up this road. Try not to get, I think Union Market is up here. Oh, bump, 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 bump. Some funky street art. Oh, hang on a second. Let's swing down the alley. Yeah. Now this building you see here with the big purple banner, this is a very large abortion clinic. I think it's Planned Parenthood of Washington D.C. You can see they have, I think they have escorts outside to help people if they need to go in and out. Usually there's protesters here. Not at the moment, but many days there are. There's Union Market across the street. Okay, let's swing into Union Market. Now this used to be, well, still kind of is, the grocery supply market for all the restaurants and stores and stuff like that. It had like all sorts of crazy ethnic food. You know, you wanted African food, you wanted Asian food, dried tofu by the ton, Mexican fruits. Yeah. But now on the other side, you got Warby Parker, Framebridge, all sorts of other. There's a fresh lamb and goat place. T-shirts. They supply all the T-shirt vendors out on the street, but then they pop in these new restaurants, the tattoo company. So this is a neighborhood very much in transition. Luxury sky condos on the left, low scale, old, what's this? The Free Spirit of Amsterdam. That's a shirt shop. It could be something else. But on the right, you've got a lot of old school Washington D.C. neighborhoods. Now down there is the Union Market food court, that big white building filled with restaurants. Lots of food. This is definitely a neighborhood changing. Still has a little bit of an edge. Wholesale to the public, cellular phones, traders, you outfit halal food, DC wholesale. And then you get like this fancy sushi place, Oku, which is big money, the Village. Politics and Prose, one of the top independent bookstores in DC. Yeah, a fun place to hang out. But we're just gonna pass on through. We don't need books or anything. There is that good pizza place around the corner. Ooh, I did have a salad. Dang, it would be really good to get a pizza. It would be really good. There's the Korean grocery, retailers of equipment, beef shank, beef ribs, New York steak, ribeye, beef knuckle, turkey wing, chicken breast, lamb liver, Florida beef. Spirulina Pizza. I've eaten here a lot. Spirulina Pizza. I recommend this place, by the way. Spirulina. There's a couple of them in DC. This is the one I go to a lot. Anyway, let's cut back across town and see what trouble we can find. So I told you guys that this whole neighborhood is changing. I mean, you can just look around at all these giant buildings. Scissors and scotch. Get a barber and a scotch. All right, let's cut up ahead. Whoa, there's an Amtrak coming over the bridge. Coming down from New York. Oof. Man, this is bumpy. Whoa, that's pretty narrow. I can go on the right, maybe. Then we'll go on the left, maybe. Yeah, we'll go. Hey, there's that medic unit we saw. Dealing with someone who doesn't actually want their service. So this intersection here is one of the most biggest traffic bottlenecks in the city. It's known as Dave Thomas Circle. Now Dave Thomas, for those who are really astute, he's the founder of Wendy's. You see, that used to be a Wendy's over there, and everybody just nicknamed this traffic nightmare the Dave Thomas Circle, as cars would have to swing around across multiple major intersections, Florida Avenue, New York Avenue, and whatnot, always causing congestion. The city is going to rebuild this whole circle. They just haven't figured out exactly how to do it. But they did close down the Wendy's, which is a shame because there's not a lot of Wendy's in DC. And they're going to rebuild Dave Thomas Circle pretty soon. Hey, let's go down this road and see what we can see, yeah? We don't come down here that often. $3.50. Ooh, that was a hole and a half. $3.59 a gallon. That's why I'm on a bike. This is Rhode Island Avenue. This runs down into the White House, basically. Ah, look at these beautiful houses. Where are we at? New Jersey Avenue. Okay. Whoa, we're about to lose our camera bag. We're gonna get up on the sidewalk, let this ambulance go past. Ooh, jumbo pizza. Ooh. Why am I getting tempted by pizza everywhere I turn? Maybe it's a sign. A sign I should be eating pizza. Let's go up this way, yeah? Now, Jesse Jackson used to live in this neighborhood. Not entirely sure where. But he moved here after his presidential campaign. Let's go down this way. I suspect that ambulance is kind of going the same direction we are. And that is up the street to Howard University. There, that is Howard University. That is a historically black college and university, HBCU, and that is where, yep, this is Howard University Hospital. That's probably where that ambulance is going. And this is where Kamala Harris went to college. She's spoken here several times during her term. In fact, Biden spoke at the graduation just recently for this year's graduates, though that wasn't held here on campus. It was downtown. Let's go into campus. Let's see what we can see. Now, for basketball fans, Howard University qualified for March Madness this year. First time in like 20 or 30 years. But also interesting, Howard University has an amazing swim team. One of the best swim teams in their league. I think they sent some guys onto postseason swimming events. And I'm told, I haven't seen it, but I'm told going to a swim meet here is absolutely crazy. There's the fans, the band. I mean, it's just like a basketball game. People chanting and screaming and cheering on their team. Maybe we'll check that out next year. That could be kind of cool, yeah? So, this is the main quad on the campus. A couple buildings. I think there's a dorm over here. And the administration building. Founders Library. Let's go ride around in the quad. Oh, we're gonna get in someone's picture. Graduation photos. Back here is the auditorium, Crampton Auditorium, and the football field, where the Howard University Bison take on all comers. Whoa, pole. Now the building you see in the back, that is Washington Hospital Center. That's like the big mega trauma center for DC. It's also Children's Hospital and the VA hospital, sort of a hospital corner. Behind that is Catholic University, but we can't really get over there easily because the roads are kind of sus to get over there. We're gonna head back downtown anyway. We'll go to Catholic another day. Let's put this up high so you can see over the fence. There you go. There's their football stadium. HU. I don't know who their big opponent is. Who their big rivalry game is. So we got some cool street vendors selling stuff over here. Look at these outfits. Awesome. Let's go down Girard Street. Even though this neighborhood isn't, quote, as nice as, say, Georgetown, you can still expect to pay over $1 million or more for these townhouses. The price of real estate in DC is crazy pretty much everywhere. So you're looking at $1 million for these townhouses here, maybe a little bit less for the smaller ones, but definitely for these new modern ones, it's gonna take a chunk of change. I think I came up here once to eat at a trendy restaurant with my kids. It was very trendy and very expensive. That's about all I remember. Okay, so we just gone over Florida Avenue again. This is Florida. Oh, okay. Yeah, look, I mean, Whole Foods is coming here. There goes the neighborhood. They put a Whole Foods in. There goes your rent prices. Ah, thank you, UPS. Oh, look at that. That's funky. Vermont. Vermont will take us right to the White House, which is good because I parked my car down by the White House. Yeah, I remember that big tower. I ate underneath that big radio tower there. This is a junior high school. Gannett Patterson? I don't know if it still is. Oh, Roosevelt Stay Opportunity Academy. Looks like it may be now like a charter. Oh, we're in U Street Cardoza. Oh, I know this stop. I know where I'm at. Okay, so we're at the U Street Cardoza metro station, and there is a memorial here. This is the memorial to African Americans who fought in the Civil War as part of the Union effort during the Civil War. And they have the names of all those that they can trace who served in different units in the American military. I believe most of these were standing units of the U.S. Army, not necessarily state-raised infantry. 76th Regiment, United States Colored Infantry. 77th Regiment, 75th. 115th Unassigned Colored Infantry Brigade Band. 110th. So all the names of all the people that they've traced from the African American Civil War Museum are here on this wall. There is the QR codes. If you want to scan your phone right now, you can go see more. All right, let's go down U Street. So over there on the right, you can see it all flashed out in white and red. That is Ben's Chili Bowl, a Washington landmark. That is a place that politicians and actors and celebrities, they all go to Ben's for a chili dog. Obama's been there, Bush has gone there, Clinton, probably even Biden has gone there, to be honest. It is a very famous landmark in Washington, D.C. Martin Luther King went there during the 1950s. Ben's Chili Bowl was sort of also the DMZ during the Martin Luther King riots. Nobody would burn Ben's Chili Bowl, and the police would go in there and have conversations with the rioters during the Martin Luther King riots to try to find a way to calm things down. Ben's Chili Bowl helped save some of this part of town during the 1960s. Definitely an institution you should check out. It is back at whatever street I'm at, 13th and U. 13th and U is an umbrella northwest, Ben's Chili Bowl. All right, let's keep going. So this area up here is Logan Circle. Now, back in the day, this was the headquarters of D.C. Vice. Women, drugs, whatever you needed, this was where you came. It has cleaned up unbelievably. Now it is as pricey as Georgetown, to be honest. The big, massive townhouses down here rival Georgetown in size and scope. The neighborhood has been gentrified, and it's very expensive. Let's just keep going down this way. Off in the distance, you should see the Washington Monument sticking up behind there. And then this building here is the Embassy of Hungary. And I haven't shown you much because it's kind of off the beaten path. But the Hungarian Embassy in this beautiful building, 1500 Rhode Island Avenue. All right, so we're gonna catch over here. Was this 16th Street, I think? Yeah, and then we'll take that down to the White House. Now on the right over there, that glass building, that's the Australian Embassy, the new Australian Embassy. I don't think they've taken possession of it yet. It's been under construction for about 2 years. In the meantime, they're shacked up at the National Geographic's offices, which are just down the street here, serving as a temporary embassy. Let's just run it. Oh. So down there you can see a Russian flag flying over this big, beautiful mansion. That used to be the Russian embassy before they moved up to Mount Alto. That is now, I believe, the Russian ambassador's house. And it is quite a posh place, just up from the White House, which you can see straight ahead in the distance. All right, talk about one heck of a circle, guys. Yep, we're back at Black Lives Matter Plaza. cutting over to the White House, and then we'll go dump our bike by the World Bank. Oh, I always hate that curb at the end of this thing. There's St. John's Episcopal, church that every president since Adams has attended Mass, but I don't know if Biden has gone there yet. Kind of an interesting story. I gotta check in on that. And then the Hay Adams Hotel. This hotel was evacuated during the U-Haul incident the other night. They didn't know if the U-Haul was filled with explosives, but it wasn't. They're still filming it. Another crew down here filming something. Usually the foreign media does the reports out here. Oh, he's actually credentialed into the White House. He could go. All right. Got a spotter up on the roof. Someone was asking if anything abnormal was going on the roof. Not that I can see. I mean, I see a sniper spotter, but that's about it. Okay, guys, so that's a little ride around Washington, D.C. on an otherwise pretty boring day. We'll be back tomorrow, try to show you something interesting. We got a helicopter on Friday. We got helicopters all weekend, so that should be cool. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys soon.